Since the start, our goal has been simple, and that is to bring Roman Santos home safely. He's the 1-year-old infant who was kidnapped, and we've done that.
Major developments today in a search for a 1-year-old child taken by his father, the suspect in 2 murders near the Tri-Cities. That little boy is safe tonight. Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News 10 at 10, where we give you more news in less time. 2 women were shot and killed in West Richland yesterday afternoon. The search for their alleged killer lasted for nearly 24 hours, and it all ended in a crash along I-5 in Oregon. Maddie White with our Seattle sister station breaks down his past tonight.
We're learning more about Elias Huizar's history. To give you some context, let's go through the timeline. In 2013, Huizar is hired by Yakima Police Department, where he worked as a school resource officer during his time on the force. Court documents show that sometime toward the end of his 9 years on the force, he impregnated a teenager who attended the middle school where he worked as an SRO. Now, take note, he resigned in February of 2022 following, quote, discipline. Details on what happened were not released. That same year, around that same time, in February, the Richland School District hired him as a substitute teacher. District leaders say they called references and his background check was clean. He was in classrooms until June of last year. Fast forward to February of this year, the teen he impregnated and her friend alleged that Huizar got them both drunk and raped the 16-year-old friend as she slept. He was charged in 2 cases of child rape for both girls. Now, because of these rape charges, less than 2 weeks later, the court issues a no-contact order, which bans him from having any contact with any minors under the age of 16, including his baby. A week later, his ex-wife, 31-year-old Amber Rodriguez, who was also killed on Monday, files a domestic violence protection order for her and her 2 kids. 2 months later, it's now Monday, April 22nd, and Huizar is scheduled to appear in court, but instead police say Huizar tracks down his ex-wife at this elementary school where she worked and shoots her dead. The superintendent spoke about the crime on Tuesday.
During dismissal, we have staff out with students and parents. We have a lot of parents that come and pick up their students. He was behind a kind of a portable area and knew that she would be out there, apparently, and then shot her there.
But then Huizar gets away, and then police later discover a second victim, the 17-year-old who had Huizar's child. The 1-year-old was kidnapped, and an Amber Alert was issued, and a multi-state manhunt begins. Alert troopers along I-5 in Oregon spotted Huizar's car and began a chase, which included an exchange of gunfire. The suspect eventually crashed and shot himself as troopers moved in. The 1-year-old baby was found safe and is waiting to be reunited with family.
That was Maggie White reporting. Just into our newsroom tonight, the body of a missing man was found within the last few hours. That's according to our news partners at the Coeur d'Alene Press and the Pinehurst Police Chief. The chief said that Gene Jacobs was found dead in a mountainous area south of Pinehurst. Jacobs was the lead pastor at Real Life Ministries, Silver Valley. His cause of death has not yet been released, but the case is under investigation tonight. New tonight, a bill that could determine the future of TikTok now heads to the president's desk. The Senate signed off just hours ago. The legislation would ban TikTok in the U.S. if its China-based owner doesn't sell its stake within a year. But don't expect the app to go away anytime soon. The version that passed the Senate includes a longer timeline. Before, the company had to sell within 6 months. Now that's been bumped out to 9 months, with an additional 3 months possible if the sale is in progress. In less than 24 hours, the U.S. Supreme Court will hear arguments in a case impacting Idaho's strict abortion ban. The court will consider whether or not a federal medical treatment act trumps the state's abortion ban. The Biden administration argues hospitals must be allowed to terminate pregnancies in rare emergencies, like if a patient's life or health is at risk, regardless of state laws. But Idaho says the definition of emergency is too broad. Idaho is one of the 14 states that now ban abortion at all stages of pregnancy. The Supreme Court is expected to rule by the end of June. A small brush fire broke out along I-90 near Medical Lake earlier this evening. Fire crews were able to get that fire under control within an hour. Now the Department of Natural Resources is investigating what started the fire. While it is still spring, fire crews are asking people to be careful of fire danger, and that's because, as our Nicole Hernandez learned, fires this time of year are common.
That sour smell of burning brush, smoke billowing over I-90, signs of fire season.
Oh, man.
Signs that Battalion Chief Alex Turner says are actually pretty normal this time of year.
Sometimes even as early as March.
It's because we're in between the cold of winter and the moisture of spring.
And we just haven't had the moisture to really get a lot of green to prevent some of these fires.
Leaving us with all of this dead brush from winter, aka fire fuel.
Just be extra cautious, be extra vigilant, make sure that you're burning correctly.
This doesn't mean we're in the full swing of fire season yet, if we get some spring rain.
If we get that moisture this year, which we hopefully do, we'll get a green up that May-June time frame.
Those green grasses with all that moisture would help decrease fire danger, but there's a chance we don't get enough of that rain.
We are in a declared drought this year.
It's something fire crews are worried about.
If we don't have moisture throughout the summer, regardless of how much snowpack we had, then we're still going to struggle with fires.
The less moisture, the more likely those symptoms of fire season are more intense. In Spokane, Nicole Hernandez, KREM 2 News.
And next month here on KREM 2 News, our Environment Northwest team is taking a bigger look at the upcoming fire season, what we can expect, and what this drought means for the summer. All right, turning now to weather. Another beautiful day in the inland Northwest, but it's not going to last. Let's get straight to Chief Meteorologist Jeremy the Good. Jeremy, I know fires are normal in April still, though it always seems early when we have one this early.
Yeah, it's one of those ones where we're just going to keep watching the conditions because summer is looking very dry and very hot. Those long-range forecast models just suggesting this pattern continues. Cascade Crest dealing with moderate drought. You move into Idaho, already under severe drought and even extreme in some places. It is not looking good, but we do have an incoming storm. In fact, we have a series of incoming storms that wind up moving in. The first of which moves into British Columbia, and that's going to bring us our round of clouds and wind tomorrow. Thankfully, it comes with an increase in atmospheric moisture, so we're not too worried about exceptional fire danger. Instead, what we will see is a little bit of wind and a little bit of cloud cover ahead of our round of showers that moves in Thursday. Most models keep the rain up in the Cascades and then get it moving through here, or eastern Washington and North Idaho, overnight Thursday into Friday and then lingering Friday. Coming up, we're going to talk more chances of rain, but just know tomorrow, our last day in the upper 60s before things cool drastically.
All right, we'll talk to you a bit later in the show. Jeremy, thank you very much. Now to our night beat with a quick look at the day's top stories. New details about a deadly fire that claimed the lives of 2 parents this weekend. It happened early Saturday morning at a house across the street from North Central High School. According to the Spokane Fire Department, an electrical malfunction caused the fire. Investigators say they found an extension cord in place of permanent wiring. KREM 2 spoke with a witness who spotted the fire not long after it started. He said that fire grew quickly and it left him worried that it would spread to the apartment complex where his family lived.
Because the way that it looked, it definitely looked like it was going to get caught onto this. If the fire department didn't get here as fast as they did, I really truthfully feel this for sure was in danger because it was spreading pretty fast.
The Spokane County Medical Examiner identified the victims as 40-year-old Robert and 33-year-old Ariel Desales. The family says their 2 kids are still in the hospital, but they say it's unlikely they survive. The Spokane Valley Police Department asking for help finding a missing 12-year-old girl. Police say Gianna Emra did not return to her group home after school back on April 19th. She is described as 5 feet 5 inches tall, 120 pounds, with brown eyes and brown hair. She was last seen wearing green and blue plaid pants and a black hoodie. If you have seen Gianna or know her location, you are asked to call Crime Check. That number is right there at the bottom of your screen. The Shoshone County Sheriff's Office cited 2 men for placing racist stickers on businesses in downtown Wallace. The stickers promoted the white supremacist group, the Patriot Front. Both men said they are members and they now could face up to a year in county jail and a fine of up to $1,000. The Wallace community says this hate group and their ideals are not welcome here.
Do you think you're going to get support by just putting stickers on businesses? They don't want stickers of any kind anyway, especially not racist stickers. It's just not part of the community. I moved here a couple years ago from LA. I've never felt like people are really want to be exclusionary to anyone.
We also tracked down a few more Patriot Front images in Cataldo. The sheriff's office has not released the names of the men cited last week. All the stickers that were reported have since been taken down. And that was your night beat. To learn more about any of these stories, just head to our website. That's KREM.com.